It's time to check in on our Apple Watches.
And I'm going to show you how to make your own airport music
Before we scribble together.
It's time for iOS Today. iOS Today comes to you from Twit's LastPass Studios. You're focused on security, but are your employees? LastPass can ensure they are by making access and authentication seamless. Visit lastpass.com/twit to learn more.
Podcasts you love.
From people you trust. This is Twit.
iOS Today is brought to you by Matthias, the Macintosh keyboard experts. When you need a new keyboard for your Mac or your iPad, Matthias has you covered with beautiful options you can't find anywhere else. Visit Matthias at matthias.ca/iOS Today for 10% off your purchase. And by Mint Mobile. They provide the same premium network coverage you're used to, but at a fraction of the cost because everything is online. Mint Mobile makes it easy to cut your wireless bill down to just $15 a month with their 3-month introductory plan. Plus, you can get the plan shipped to your door free at mintmobile.com/iOS. We don't need no stinking countdown. Countdown to make it easier. No,
I don't think so.
No, we don't need. We're pros.
Yeah, we just...
Hey, yeah,
let it
iOS
flow.
Today. Let it go.
Let it go.
Let it go.
As the
I'm
kids
here
say.
with Prince Olaf.
Hi! I don't even know if that's his voice, but
should
isn't he? Wait, what's the name of this snowman?
This is iOS Today. That's Mikah Sargent.
Hello, that's Leo Laporte.
Oh, my God. And this is the show where we cover the latest from the Apple iPhone to the iPad to the Apple Watch to the Apple TV to the CarPlay.
Oh, baby.
Which we have unilaterally determined should all be called iOS.
Yeah.
When Apple changed the name for everything, we weren't going to call this the iOS, TV OS, Watch OS, iPad OS, CarPlay OS Today show.
Right.
So we just call it all the iOS.
In fact, if you look really closely at the S, if you zoom and enhance, they're all in there.
They're all in there.
Yeah. But you got to get real close.
Today, we're actually going to cover something we almost like. This is kind of like our annual. I wish we probably should do it more often, but our annual look at the Apple Watch.
Yeah, it's good to check in from time to time, see what complications you're using now, what apps you've kept around, what things you've let go, and just to see, the new features and how you're using them.
I have to say, we've done this. Megan and I started doing this. I think maybe even goes back to Sarah Lane, the original host of the show, every year or so. And initially, my thought of the Apple Watch is, it's just an accessory. It's kind of a sidecar to the iPhone. I mean, you do have to have an iPhone to have an Apple Watch.
Right.
But I didn't wear it every day. I didn't think it was necessary. And I have really come around. I think over time, maybe Apple and I have met in the middle.
I was going to say, yeah, I would agree that it's not just you coming around, it's them coming around in a big way, because I felt the same way with my original Series 0, even my Series 1 Apple Watch. I didn't notice when I wasn't wearing it. It was kind of a thing that I'd wear from time to time. And now I really do feel sort of nude without it.
That's my test. If you get in the car and you start driving to work and then you turn around because you didn't put it on, then I certainly would do that with the iPhone, and the watch increasingly is like, I gotta have it, and I love it now.
Yeah, in fact, making sure that the battery's charged and stuff like that, because I can remember with the Series 0, sometimes the battery would be dead. Oh, okay, I guess I'll wear that today.
I feel bad because one of the things we had planned and I forgot was to bring in all our watch bands. You did bring your watch bands. One of the things, this is probably not a good thing, but Apple has done is made that watch connection really easy to change bands, and they didn't patent it or trademark it or limit it in any way. They didn't even license it. So anyone can make an Apple Watch band. And as a result, I think most Apple Watch users, certainly you and I and Renee Ritchie, have many bands. I would say I'm well over a dozen bands at this point.
Yeah, I've not actually counted mine. I'm sort of laying them out here. I've got some that are Apple made and some that aren't. Now,
well, let's start with that because Apple, of course, charges a premium
yes,
for their bands. And I see you have some of the very expensive Apple bands. I bought the most expensive Apple band when I bought my last Apple Watch, the Link.
Yeah, that one is pricey. I mean, but you like it, don't you?
I love it. In fact, I have, and I had bought in the past 2 or 3 third-party link style bands because I like that kind of style on a band.
It's really pretty, and
I have one ceramic one that's shiny. I have one black matte.
Wait,
that's
you have
nice.
the ceramic link band?
Well, it's not from Apple. It's a third party.
Okay.
I couldn't have. If Apple had
I
a
was gonna
ceramic
say,
band,
yeah, that I didn't know they did either, and I was thinking that
it'd
must
get
have
pretty
been really
expensive.
pricey.
I have to say, in general, there's a reason the Apple bands are worth spending the extra money on. They're a little bit better.
With the rubber ones, with the fluoroelastomer, ones, I feel especially they're one of the least
thicker
expensive
somehow.
bands. Yes, they're one of the least expensive bands you can buy from Apple, and so by paying the premium to get them, it is a better choice for multiple reasons. So for one, this is the one I've had the longest, and you can kind of tell there's some little shiny marks on there where the coating has a little bit rubbed away, but they don't have that sort of sticky, rubbery feel. It's
They
a very
do something
smooth,
special with their fluoroelastomer.
Their
finest.
fluoroelastomer is really
It's made from the finest fluoros.
Yes,
and I think that's the key.
They grow them in
Yeah.
Apple Park
Yeah.
Orchard, actually. Yeah.
So that's one exception. The other exception I would say is in the other direction that I don't think it's worth getting the Apple band is their Milanese Loop. It's expensive. It's really expensive, and I like a Milanese
expensive.
Loop. And you see, mine is already kinked, and that's what seems to happen with all of them. Is I don't know, somehow maybe I need a special watch band holder.
Oh, boy.
But there's a little bit of a kink in the loop. And it just bugs me. It's aesthetic. It doesn't change the feel of it. And if
Right,
when
but
you're
you
wearing
spend that
it,
much money on it.
well, that's the thing. And I have found, and I have purchased a number of Milanese loops for a fraction of the cost. And given this kink issue, I don't want to spend like the hundreds of dollars for Apple's version. So I buy the cheaper ones. Now, there are downsides. For instance, I got the silver ones, and often the finish wears off a little bit on the clasp, and they kink. They don't kink more than the Apple bands, but since you only paid a tenth of the price, you don't mind that so much.
Right, exactly.
And I think they look as good from a distance.
They're really pretty.
Yeah.
I've got one that's completely black. I didn't bring it because I never wear it because I don't know what it is, but there's something about it that's actually uncomfortable for me. So I don't know if it was the one
that's
that
a
I
question.
purchased or something like that. But
What's the most comfortable band from your point of view? It's not the fluoroelastomer, I don't think.
these ones right here.
Yeah, the sweat pant.
The sweat
Apple.
pant of Apple Watch bands. These are these sport loops. Now, these are all, I bought these from Apple, and they are incredibly comfortable.
I've never bought a third-party hook and loop.
Yeah, because they're inexpensive.
And
Again,
they're really nice. I
with
think, and the colors.
The
And
colors are really nice.
Yeah.
The
They wear
hook and
well.
loop fastener is really nice.
the other thing I like about these, you can throw them in the wash.
Yes, which I often do. So there's still an article of mine over on iMore that tells you how to, and you can see I haven't washed this one in a while, that tells you how to clean your Apple Watch
They wash
bands.
quite well.
And I will actually just...
I put them in the laundry, in the washing machine.
Yeah. So a little pro tip: if you have delicates, then you might be familiar with this. But they make these little
I
mesh.
put them in with my undies.
Yeah,
in a
they make these
delicate
little
bag.
mesh bags.
Yeah.
They're delicate
Yeah.
bags. You put them in there. You zip it tight. You stick it in the wash, and you can wash it away.
Actually, I've just thrown it in with a laundry.
Oh,
it
do
seems
you?
to do all right. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's
probably a
fine.
good idea to
It's
put it in
easier to
delicate.
find if
Yeah.
they're all in one spot.
And it does because of the hook and loop. It adheres
You get stuck to something.
things, so it's almost always
you put
stuck
on
to
your
my
sock, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, that's where that
there it
band
is.
went. Yeah.
I do
Now-
like those, and I have as many of those as you do because they keep releasing new ones in kind of fun colors.
Yeah.
You've got the rainbow one, which is really pretty. That was a special edition one.
Apple started now. I'm collecting them every year. They were clever because I didn't care as much. The first one I wanted to get, and that was because at the time, it was
So on
the first
Pride Week,
time-
they release these every Pride Week.
Yeah.
But this is dated? Does it have a
Yeah,
date
so
on it?
now they start date their
that's
edition.
hysterical.
So
So
every
you
year
know.
they date them. They do give a portion of the proceeds to different Pride advocacy groups, well, LGBTQ plus advocacy groups. But yeah, now because they put this doggone date tag on there, I've started
I
collecting them.
like that one on the right. That's the what do they call that? The buckle?
This is the woven nylon.
A woven nylon.
Yeah, and this
Oh,
was the
clever.
this was the first one, and so you can see it does not have a tag on it, a Pride.
That was
date
the
on
first
it.
one.
Yeah. And then this is the 2018 model.
You really do have them all.
Yeah. So I've
Gotta
started
get 'em
collecting
all,
because-
kids.
And you can see. So
Why do you have a piece of tape on your watch?
We're going to start talking about the Apple Watch in a moment. And one of the annoying things is, but it's good, it's a security feature, is that if you take it off your wrist, it knows. And so I've put this on the back so that once I type in my passcode, I don't have to keep typing
Are you
in my
kidding?
passcode.
That's all it takes?
No, it turns out that I started noticing that it's still doing that.
I think it knows it's you. I don't think tape can really be.
I was hoping that it was just a proximity sensor, but I think that it's also looking
magical.
for heart rate and stuff like that. Not your specific heart rate, but it's just looking
It has
for
to be on
heart rate.
somebody.
Yeah.
Alive, preferably.
So let's talk a little bit. I want to talk about these cuffs.
Yeah. Now they make some. This is something that Renee loves, the Hermes Cuff.
Yes.
But that's no cheapy.
That's some ridiculous cost. This is a third-party band. I'm really disappointed. I don't know, Kevin, if you can look up, there's a company, beautiful, it's called Pad and Quill. They make beautiful leather stuff. I have a brown leather cuff from Pad and Quill. It is my favorite band. However, because I wear it so much, I try to give it a break every once in a while so it doesn't start to
dry out, because leather will get a little stinky.
Gets a little stanky after a while.
You can't throw that in the laundry.
Exactly. And it is...
You may say $100. Wow, that's a lot, but it's so much cheaper than the Hermes Cuff.
Exactly. It ages so well.
You like it?
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
This is like that. This is a black version. And you can see it's got the cutout in the middle for the sensor to fit through. The watch slides on to the top and the bottom onto the lugs, and then it goes around your wrist. And then...
It always feels like something maybe a member of the YMCA group, Village People.
The Village
should be
People.
wearing. It just feels like a statement. It's more,
it is a statement piece.
It's more of a statement that I'm willing to make, if you know what I mean. Now this is the other Hermes one.
Double
it's
tour,
not
right.
the double tour, but this is why buy the expensive one.
Right.
Renee has those all.
So this has a kit. This came in a kit. It had.
Oh,
the
you got
double
both?
Tour. Yeah, it comes with a kit that has the double tour
So they're
band.
not even pretending
and
that
the
it
cuff band.
isn't a copy of the
Oh
Hermes
yeah,
set.
it absolutely is. So you can get sort of the whole thing. The last thing I want to talk about, other than
this, to me is the second most comfortable band, and
the leather loop.
And this is something, I don't think anybody makes a third-party leather loop that's anywhere near the quality of Apple's. This is supple, soft.
What happens is a lot of times in the third-party ones, the leather starts to wear away from the magnets, and that does not happen with this one.
I've had that one since almost the beginning, and it's worn very well.
The only thing I don't like about this is it gives me phantom vibrations. Whenever the magnetic clasp adjusts just a little bit, it has that like feel.
I wish you hadn't said that. Now I'm going to notice that. I've never noticed that.
And so I always think I'm getting notifications on my wrist. And so I don't wear this one that often anymore because of that. It's just I keep looking down at my watch. Oh, I think I got a message or something. And it was not a message. It was just the band adjusting. So I haven't worn this one in a while, but I wore this one for a very long time, and yeah, it was my favorite band. It's very nice.
It's comfortable, right? It's dressy and comfortable. You wear the sweatpant band, the Velcro lip, and people know you're being lazy.
Yeah, in fact, I still wear it. That's kind of what this one is for
That's
now,
your
is my
dressy
dress
one.
band,
Yeah.
other than the statement piece that I have.
My
which
dress
is my brown
band,
cuff.
it's funny that we both have this, but I think this is what happens when you have a lot of bands. This one's for dressy occasions. This one's for cash. They all have a statement. My dress band is that Lynx, the Apple Link.
Oh, my
and
God,
it is
gorgeous.
really a pretty band. But I always think when I wear it and I stupidly got the kind of fancy edition this year. This is the titanium one. I think, I've got this fancy watch on and no one knows it's not exact because it looks exactly the same. So folks, don't be a dummy
need to go
like
for
Leo. Just get the least expensive one. And I have to say, when it comes to fluoroelastomer, you can go on Amazon and buy a set of 3 of them for like $10.
Yes.
And that's kind of what I do, and I have all the different colors just because the Apple Premium does bug me. I know I'm not getting as good a band, but for the fluoroelastomer, which is what I wear when I work out, that's okay with me.
Yeah, the only thing that I don't like about it is the ones that end up getting kind of gummy and sticky when they warm up.
Well, then you throw it out. They were $10.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And I got 3 of them.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So I don't mind throwing those out. I would never throw an Apple band out. What's that?
So I want to talk about
these are expensive too. These are the special
this
buckle
is the
ones?
leather band. So this isn't the buckle. The buckle has
okay.
like a magnetic
That's
clasp
right.
on the end.
That's really
This is just the
expensive.
leather band. When I joined iMore for the first time,
they gave you a band?
Renee sent this to me. And the reason why I want to talk about this is because I want to talk about the lugs. So this was the Blue Jay band. They don't make this leather band anymore, which is sad because it's a beautiful blue color. But you notice here that this metal sort of clasp on the end is silver, but the links on the other side, the lugs on the other side, are not silver.
There's a reason.
There's a reason for that. So
Johnny Ive.
when I got this, it had silver lugs, and I wanted it. I've always had the space gray Apple Watch.
So you wanted it to match.
I wanted it to match, and so
you had a lug translugamy?
I did have a translugamy. There's an article too on iMore where I have detailed the process of
How would you do
buying custom lugs and installing them yourself.
Did you have to restitch the leather?
No. So there are little screws on the lugs that you unscrew, and then you can take it apart, and then you slide on new lugs. Now, it's not going to work with these bands. This is a plastic lugs. Yeah, it's contained, and there's no way to get...
That's the sweatpant.
The sweatpant loop.
AKA the hook and loop.
But for this one, because of the metal lugs, I was able to change this out.
And of course, on the fluoroelastomers, the lugs are integral to the plastic, so you can't change those either. But you can on some of the other ones. That's interesting.
So this is a Clockworks Synergy band.
A third-party band.
Third-party nylon band.
That's a nice-looking band.
Like the NATO bands. I really like those NATO-style bands. Yeah. Simple, two, what are they called? Ring fasteners.
You know, a cynic would say that we're so obsessed with Apple Watch bands because the Apple Watch itself is so ugly.
A cynic might say that.
That we have to do something to dress it up.
Yeah. No, it's you can customize it.
Yeah.
It's kind of, I don't know.
It's easy to do. I like it.
In high school, middle school, you customized your binder with stickers. This is just another way to, it's a fashion statement.
It's like customizing your binder.
It's like customizing your binder.
You're peachy.
So I wanted to say these are, the lugs that came with these Clockworks Synergy bands were also silver. I got some third-party space gray lugs
finicky.
And replaced them as well. There's an article. I'll include a link in the show notes where I detail the process of changing out the lugs if you want it to match. Because for me, I did not like having bright silver metal right up against my space gray. I wanted the lugs to...
I never really noticed that. I'm going to notice that too.
You're welcome. There's another
good one.
Addition to your...
No, I often do. But see, at some point it's going to change colors because the band isn't going to match the...
Right.
So I figure if it changes at the lug, what's the big deal? Oh, because the lug's supposed to look integral to the watch.
Part of the It's supposed to look like one body.
Now let's talk about what we put on our watch. First of all, which face do you use?
Well, let's face it. I use the new Complication. Oh golly, what is it called?
Infograph.
Thank you.
Modular.
Infograph face.
So do I.
And no, you use the modular one. I use just standard Infograph.
I like having all of the complications. So with Infograph Modular, I can have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 complications. Those are the little doohickeys you add on. By the way, I should apologize. My phone is black and white. You know, I'll put it back in color. But the reason
you have it in black and white right now?
Yeah, because my daughter said, I found, she said, if you put it in black and white, you don't use it as much. And I said,
just like with the Google stuff.
You're right. And so I did that, and she was right. It's just because the phone is not, we got little monkey minds.
I have more complications than you do, Leo. Got to be honest.
You're more complicated than me, that's for sure.
Darn it, why can I not keep this thing?
I'm going to put my color back on so I can show you my complications in living color.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 complications on mine. With the Infograph face.
7? How did you get 7?
Because the Infograph face has more than Infograph Modular.
You're kidding.
You can do the top left, the top right, the bottom left, the bottom right, and then 3 in the middle. And then you can also have your initials or the digital time, or if there are a few things that you can do in the top middle.
Gracious.
Yeah.
All this time I've been suffering. So, but you got the problem with that, you have the analog then.
Yeah.
I don't want the analog.
But look, you can put the digital time right there.
Yeah, but no, I like having a big...
You want it big.
I like
I've got eyes of a Ute.
You're Uteful.
I've got Uteful eyes.
You're Uteful. Oh, wait a minute. I got to stop that. This is my app kept playing in the background. Sorry. All right. Oh!
Darn it.
What's going on?
It's all breaking down.
All of you, stop. Stop making music. Has it stopped? It was a long decay. So you use Infograph, the analog face, and I use Infograph Modular. You get one more thing. Although I have to say, one of the complications I use is the calendar complication. And the reason I love, and I don't know that you get the benefit of this in your classic Infograph, I love the idea that when I do the calendar, I can see, it's not doing it right now for some reason, but I can see all my appointments on one watch face, so I can see what's up next and all of that. And I do really like that. It has more room. I'm using Fantastical too for its let me customize here. If I change this to go back to calendar, maybe. Yeah, now I'm going to see it. So let's go back to calendar, and it's kind of nice to see your appointments right there.
Mm-hmm. So you can see one appointment at a time, and you can do that with this.
Yeah, but it's so
well.
tiny.
Right. It is a matter of making sure you can see that
the
in
whole
the top
thing,
left corner.
right?
Yeah, it's even kind of hard to see. Kevin switched it to my screen here.
Yeah, that's good. You can really see that. What else do you have? Tell me about all
I'll tell
your
you my complications. My top left complication is Fantastical. Right now it's saying you're in the middle of an event, and it shows a little meter showing how long this event is meant to last.
That's kind of neat.
In the top right corner, I have Carrot Weather. It tells the current. You can change what you want. I have it set to tell me the current temperature as well as what the forecast is and the high and low.
I go back and forth on weather because honestly, I feel like I could just stick my head out the window.
That's true.
On the other hand, it's kind of nice to know what the high is going to be. Like today, it's going to be 76. It's going to be beautiful. So I know what I'm missing when I'm working.
Yeah. Oh, that's not good. In the bottom left corner, I have a timer, and I'm going to talk about that in a second. I use the timer app all the time, and it's really nice to get it from, no pun intended, it's really nice to get it from the home screen there.
So, yeah, I have the stopwatch. Is that the same as the timer or no?
Well, no. Stopwatch is a count up, timer is a count down.
Okay, yeah, because I use this for events, like when we had our special event.
Nice.
I started the timer when our panel began. I knew I had 90 minutes, and so I was able to. So that was handy for me. But I would like your timer.
I use it for coffee, for tea,
yeah, I was
for
just
cooking.
Saying, but then you have to have it set for 5 minutes all the time, or
no? So it's here. Let me type in my code here. It's sort of a shortcut.
Show him.
So tapping on it will let me choose 1 minute, 3 minute, 5 minute, 10 minute very easily. And,
it's hard. We both have the same basic display of our phones and our watches. And so,
and I had to type in my passcode. So
just Kevin, remember, he is the rainbow
There you
one,
go.
And I am the
steel.
crimped Milanese Loop.
Yeah. And then the bottom right, I have my activity stuff. So that
let me look at this closely. I have to get over here. I can't quite see what's going on there.
In the middle, I have the current date. It tells the weekday as well as the day. The day of the week as well as the date.
Yeah, I have that too on mine. I like to have that. I have mine in the upper right above the time where it belongs.
A shortcut to access the home app, and then...
Jeez Louise. I guess because you host Smart Tech Today, you need to spend a lot of time in that home app.
Yes.
What do you get when you hit that, though? Can you really do that on your watch? The home app, and then so you can run routines?
Yeah, so for example, I'll show you. Right now it's set to Twit. I'm going to change it back to my home. Because I was setting up some stuff here yesterday for the show. It has everything in it. It has my favorite scenes and my favorite accessories.
So all your scenes are in there.
Yeah, so I can change my master bedroom lights from here.
That actually would be handy because I always have to shout.
Oh, see, I do it from bed with my watch because I don't like using my voice for most things. I'll be honest. I'm a little bit too much of a control freak. And so having that there on my wrist, whenever it's time for bed, I can just tap it.
I do have to admit, I sound like a nut when I'm going to bed and I shout, Echo, turn off the lights.
Do it now.
No, sorry.
It works here in the office.
It works too. Yeah. Sometimes if I say just lights out, it thinks, I guess, I want to hear today's news. And that is not what I want to hear as I'm going to bed.
Yeah.
So
here
I have
all the latest cases of coronavirus near you.
So I have to shout, turn off the lights. And it seems to get that one right every time.
Weird. Yeah. Must be some settings
So
somewhere.
I should have it on my watch.
And then the final one that I have is called Pillow. And this is a sleep tracking app. So it's not working right now because I use another sleep tracking app right now, but I still have the complication on my home screen. It tells you the percentage of sleep.
All right, I'll show you mine.
Yeah, let's see what you got.
I work out every day, so I really like to have the workout complication so that when I get to the gym and tap that, I could choose the workout of the moment. So that's very handy.
I like the Pilates icon there.
I think I had to enter that by hand. But it had the icon. I don't think it has Pilates on the list.
Gotcha.
But when you enter it, it seems to know what you're doing. Outdoor walk, elliptical, rower, indoor cycle, indoor walk, outdoor run. I don't do any of these. And then they're on the list. So I like having that there. Then the other two things here in the lower right, I already mentioned the stopwatch. this is my journaling. This is day one. You know, I like day one.
Okay.
And I'm always looking for a way to journal easier, and this is great because this is an audio journal, and it'll go right into day one.
It transcribes it? Or it's just audio?
It does not. It's just audio. But you know what? I think in a way that's a kind of a more intimate thing in your journal. If you're using a digital journal, why not record audio? So let me just. Oh, you could. I guess you could I wouldn't want to hand enter it, but you could.
No
so I always
way.
hit record. So it's a Tuesday, and Mikah and I are doing the show again. Mikah always shows me up by bringing better watch bands than me. I hate Mikah. He's really a jerk. Mm-hmm. And then I'm done.
Dear diary.
Dear diary. I was trying to be high school. He's got a better peachy than I do. And then this other one is similar. In fact, really, I don't need both. This is drafts, and we've talked about drafts before. And I have it set to go immediately into record mode. And this one does transcribe. So this is very handy. I'll find myself frequently wanting to remember a quote I read in a book, or remind myself to do something. And instead of having all these different apps on there, I have drafts on there. So that's one stop for me to put this in, and then
sound.
And it does a little taptic thing. And then when I go back to my my computer or my iPad, I have this already in there. And now we've mentioned drafts before, but just to show you, now the next step is to process it. Mm-hmm. So I could send it to my journal. So if I did want to transcribe, I probably would do that. I could send texts. I can add it as an event. Actually, there's a lot more. I can also post it to my blog. I can do some various processing with it. And this is completely extensible. So the things that you do on a regular basis, having an ability just to dump it, and you don't have to process it right away. You could say, well, at the end of every day, I go through my drafts and process it.
I'm going to have to get this one.
I have to say that's very useful. Having that on the watch means that, if I make a commitment to do something, I should have done this. Remind me to bring my watch bands in Tuesday for iOS today. And that's all I would have had to do. And now that's in my drafts, and then
you use your drafts all the time, so you'd be able to, you would see it.
Yeah, well, I can actually now add this. I can add this to reminders.
Oh.
So that's the beauty part of it. So unfortunately, I don't seem to have reminders on. Oh, there it is, to do. So that's how you process these things.
Okay, I need to get this. No, this is a good complication.
So
I have drafts, but I didn't know it did this dictation thing.
Yeah, there. Now it's in my to-dos, so it will remind me on Tuesday to bring my watch bands next week. A little late.
He's got them.
But that's the thing, and this is the habit you kind of got to get into. But I feel like having it on my watch band, I'm more likely to journal, and I'm more likely to record commitments, reminders. Lately, I've been wanting to write down quotes from the books I'm listening to. And one thing you could do, I've tried this. It's not perfect, but I listen to audiobooks. Is if there's something interesting going on, press that and pull. Make sure it can hear the audio.
Yeah, that's
and it'll
smart.
transcribe it, and then I could put. I could probably have to edit it because it's not very good. But anyway, those are the complications I use all the time. And I did have, and I should mention, honorable mention to Cardiogram, which is a great app on the Apple Watch. But we were talking before the show. I had it. Sometimes I'll forget and I'll start it because you can get real-time heart rate monitoring, and it killed my battery like in 2 hours. So I took it off because I don't want to accidentally kill my battery. Apple's heart study is a little different. It will do other things. Cardiogram is a third-party app, and I probably should put it back on my watch, but
just as long as you don't run it as a complication.
That was the mistake.
Take as much battery life.
Right.
So I do want to talk about. So firstly, I need to get that drafts thing because I will find myself. It's usually when I'm driving, or when I'm showering. Those are the times where my brain is the most free.
Though. Do you?
Yeah.
Can you?
Yeah.
You can shower with your watch on?
Yeah.
I always take it off.
Yeah. Well, it depends. So I will say it depends on the band I'm wearing. If I'm wearing a band that can be in the shower.
Is that the shower fairy? Who is that?
Hello, shower fairy. What have you brought me today? Here is my grime. I'll trade you for a coin.
It's grime.
It's Grimes, the shower fairy. Grimes, the shower fairy. All right. So Ecg and Heart Rate. These are two apps that are available on the latest Apple Watches. Yeah. It's a single lead ECG.
Two lead. One is your finger and one is the back of the watch. Oh. So it's 2 leads.
Oh.
You have to hold this. That's 2 leads.
Okay.
For the AFib thing, the ECG.
Yeah. So normally when you go to a doctor, you're going to get 5 or I think it's 5 or more.
I think you get a big bunch of them.
So the Holter monitor that I had to wear for a week whenever I went to the emergency room, it was 5.
5. Okay.
For the week. And so this is what all of that is to say. The ECG that's built into the Apple Watch.
I'm doing it right now.
Nothing like you would get from the doctor. However, it is a good one for the fact that it's just right there on your watch. And
this probably kills battery too, so you wouldn't want to do this all the time.
Yeah, you don't want to do this all the time.
But if now here's the thing. It's really for people who already have been diagnosed with AFib. And you should ask your doctor, of course. And we already know, we mentioned this last week, that it doesn't work in all conditions. For instance, if your heart rate's up above 120. But doing that is kind of, I think it makes people feel a little bit better. It's only a 2-lead ECG, and then it says it can't check for signs of a heart attack, just AFib. So it's only for people who have been diagnosed with AFib. And then you can send that off to your doctor or call your doctor if it shows signs of AFib. And I think that is, we know already that saves some lives.
Yeah.
As long as you don't give it too much power.
Exactly.
Assume too much of it.
Yeah.
It's limited in what it is.
And in fact, it seems like most of the time that it has worked, it is not from people going in and doing the ECG. It has been from, because the heart rate app that's built into the Apple Watch also checks for irregular heart rhythm, separate from ECG. And many times they get a notification that says, hey, we're detecting an irregular heart rate.
Right. Or your heart rate's high and you're not doing anything.
Yeah, you're sitting down, your heart rate's above 120.
You're right. I think that's
you're doing activity and your heart rate's below 50 or something like that.
I believe most of the time, I'm not an expert on this, AFib is asymptomatic. So you wouldn't necessarily know. Although, Jeff Jarvis, who has been treated for AFib, has one of the little LiveCore AFib devices. He does use that, and he says it's really good to have that kind of diagnostic and be able to send it off to your doctor. So apparently there are times when you might say, I feel like I'm not quite right.
Yeah. What's going on? I don't feel quite right. Yeah. And it, like you said, it was helpful for me because whenever I had gone to the hospital that time for the heart stuff, I have had a history of anxiety and things like that. And so I wanted to make sure that it was not me having a panic attack before I went into the doctor. So I went home from the theater, and once I saw that my heart rate continued to be above this certain level, I thought this is more than just me having an anxiety attack. Went in and it was. So it can be helpful for folks.
So it saved your life too.
Yeah. God, that was scary. But that's a good thing it's in the past. So the other thing I want to talk about is maps on the Apple Watch, on the Apple Watch. And that is because this is the way to keep you from looking like a tourist.
I love maps. And, not just for walking. The other day I was driving and it does it too.
The tapping.
And it taps you and goes, it lets you know this is where you're going to turn.
Yeah, I think it's is left and is right.
Yeah.
So it gives you a little haptic feedback there.
Unfortunately, this only works with Apple Maps.
Yes.
Not Google Maps or Waze.
Which is a bit of a bummer, but I use it in Petaluma. I mean, I live here, but I don't go to a lot of places. And so when I'm trying to find a local store or restaurant or something like that, and I'm walking, I don't want to be going, why? Which way do I go here?
You look like a nitwit.
An absolute
And it's not
fool.
good to do that when you're driving either.
Exactly.
So I think it's very handy. And so if you use Siri, as I often do, and say, hey, navigate to Baskin and Robbins, it will use the Apple Maps app.
Is there a Baskin Robbins here?
Oh, yeah. They have 32 flavors here.
Oh, brother.
No, I'm just kidding. Same
31.
Yeah, it's the same exact.
Never changed.
It's not the best place to go. If you're in Petaluma, go to Lala's.
Lala's.
Lala's
Oh, yeah.
is the
I actually
best ice
meant
cream.
to go to Lala's.
Oh, don't go to Lala's. You know what I did? I signed up. Lala's had a thing, and now I get text messages from Lala's periodically saying, "Here's a coupon. You really ought to come to Lala's.
Come hang out at Lala's."
Oh man, that was
what
a
is
mistake.
that, Kevin?
That is Lala's
Banana
hot fudge.
split?
Oh, it's so good. They make their own hot fudge. They make their own ice cream.
It's a good thing I'm lactose intolerant, so I don't.
Oh, you can't.
I do. I take a pill, but I know.
Is it a chill pill?
No, it's lactase enzyme to help me digest lactose. But because I have to take external enzyme, I'm not as driven to enjoy ice cream, so I don't get it as much. So I'm a little bit protected.
I'm not
But I do
driven
wanna try
because
Lala's.
I have a heart, and it will kill me.
And it will murder you.
It will murder
That
me.
natural hot fudge
Oh, it's so good,
will
though.
run over your heart. and
Sometimes
murder you.
when Lisa's having some, I'll just say, "Can I have a bite?"
Just a little.
So good. Lala's.
All right, I'm going there.
It's down in the boulevard.
Today. Kidding. So if the coronavirus doesn't stop us, we will be going to a concert soon, and it's going to be very loud at this
Are
concert.
you coming to that concert? Oh, nice. I'm going to be wearing my special in-ear headphones that will block the loudness.
Oh, yeah. So I will be wearing these. I don't think they're going to block the loudness as
No,
much.
don't wear
but-
those.
Well, he's got a receiver for me,
Oh, okay.
so I got to wear something. I know I need to go get my ears.
It's too bad your ears aren't exactly my shape.
Just
Because then you could wear mine. But see, mine are actually like Bono, like in U2. They're molded.
Yeah, I
to
know.
my
I need to
inner
go get my
ear,
ears
which is
mapped.
nice because then they really go in there good. Mm-hmm. And then
Better than these.
and then you can't hear your wife yelling at you.
Oh.
It's great.
You can't hear anyone yelling at you.
No.
Your co-hosts.
You can't hear the stewardess saying, "Please
Sir,
put
please,
your seat back
airplane
in
mode."
upright position." Can't hear anything.
The plane is going down, sir.
Yeah. No, I really, instead of noise canceling headphones, I really like the headphones that seal your ears,
Mm-hmm.
especially on flights.
But speaking of that,
Yes.
On the Apple Watch, there's a noise app now, and this watch can.
What's that?
Well, it can measure noise levels.
Oh,
around
I
you
turned that. You
in
know, I
your
used to have that
environment.
on. I'm going to put that on now. I forgot about that.
Leading up to
complication.
this show, it's great to have. So it will notify you when you are in an environment where the noise level is above the the internationally recommended volume. I can't remember who is in charge of determining what that is, but
I think it's Tipper Gore. But anyway, so this is it. And, you know, it's showing right now. And this I found does not kill your battery.
no, yeah.
So yeah, I like having this running. Now it's still going to do that, and you can go into the app and look at your noise levels from the past week and things like that. So it's not like it's not recording, but I like actually seeing that on the watch. So I'm going to make that my new complication. But you see, it's right now I'm okay. Long-term exposure to sounds at this level because we're very quiet in here. And then I think it also, as I remember, I might be wrong on that, it gives you your weeks. Maybe it's only on the phone, but I think you can see your noise levels for the whole week. I know I've seen that somewhere.
Yeah, I'm trying to find
Isn't that
that
great?
information as well.
Yeah. So I think if it's over 90 dB, it'll warn you. 90 or 80 dB is loud. And then if it's over 85, you can only get an hour and a half, or you're going to go deaf. 30 minutes at 90 dB, 95 just 10 minutes a day, and if it's 100 dB or more, you can have a real problem. You shouldn't get more than. There it is.
Yeah.
So it's on the phone. That you
It's
can
on the
see.
phone in the Health app, so you can see over
It's
the
health.
past.
That's where I saw it. Okay.
Over the past month, I've had okay exposure to sound on average, which is good.
I'm really glad Apple does this.
Me too.
I think this is kind of an under-recognized health issue.
Yeah. So that's it tells you both environmental sound levels, and you can have it track your headphone audio levels. So if you listen to music on headphones, it works for both third-party headphones and Apple's headphones. Apple says it works better for its headphones. It has more information on those, but it will try to track all of them and then name you and shame you whenever you have your headphone audio turned up too high, which is good. It's good to be aware of it, and then you get to decide if you want to make an adjustment based on that.
Honestly, it's things like this that make the Apple Watch a must-wear every day. That's where Apple really has made this watch incredibly valuable.
Yeah, it's always doing my heart rate. It's always paying attention to the hearing and the noise environment. I've got the ECG there if I need it, and then I use all the notifications and stuff like that as well. So
Yeah. So I'm okay too. I haven't heard any really loud noises.
good.
Well, there was that one day.
Bum bum bum.
What happened on Monday?
Somebody was screaming.
Wow, it got to really loud on
107
Monday.
decibels.
Yeah.
Did you
we-
accidentally have your speakers turned up really loud in your car?
Yeah, it must have been something like that. Wow, that's
It was the organ, I bet.
yeah. I shouldn't play the organ at home. That's good. This is so useful. I mean, I think it really is great to see this, and kids especially. You really got to pay attention to that.
And especially while your ears are still developing, it's good to be paying attention to that. The last thing I was honorable mention for 2 apps that I use, Deliveries, which is a package tracking app. It has a great Apple Watch companion, and I basically just use it to get notifications.
Oh.
Hey, your package is here. Oh. Hey, it's out for delivery. Hey, it's been delivered. They have a Complication as well, so you can sort of keep that stuff tracked at all times. But it shows a map and all that kind of stuff, so you can see where the packages come from, how it's doing, etc. And it has integrations with lots of different services, including OnTrack, of course, FedEx, USPS, UPS. It's very easy to do Amazon tracking, which is what I use it for mostly, and ties into Amazon's own API, so it's really good for that. And then Do is the app that I use for important reminders that I need to be constantly bugged about.
Do it.
Yeah,
do it.
You
do
need
it.
to do this right now.
Do it.
If I ignore it, then it bugs me again in 5 minutes. If I ignore it, it bugs me again in 5 minutes. So this is good for medicines. It's good for making sure, you could set it up for a kid who's got chores that they're supposed to do. Frankly, it works for anything. It doesn't just have to be for those bugging reminders, but I use it to have that persistent reminder. Hey, you need to do this thing. Hey, you need to do this thing.
Yeah, and I use my to-do list, AnyDo, for that as well, but it's not as persistent as yours is, obviously.
Do will get annoying with
the other tip I would say is remove any apps that you're not going to use from your watch. You shouldn't run more apps than you need on your watch. Minimalize it. And if you have it set to automatically install on your watch, I turn that off because otherwise I'm going to get a ton of stuff. But periodically I'll go through here and take stuff off if I. And one other tip, and I keep most of my airlines in the uninstalled, but when I'm going to go somewhere, as we were on Southwest earlier, or United, I will put that on my watch because then you'll get the notifications. Not every airline does this, but the airlines that do it, that's a very handy thing to have on your watch. Hey, your flight's about to leave. Get over there is very, very handy. So I'm careful about what I install. Usually it's just music apps. Uber is nice to have because it'll let you know when your ride is on its way and that kind of thing. But some of the stuff I don't keep on here. For instance, I love Personal Capital, but I probably don't need to know right now what my stocks are doing.
A good idea to
so I'm going to turn that one off. That's probably a little too much information.
Because then your heart rate will go up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So Authy, which is an authenticator app, there's no really easy way to use that on the watch anyway, so I'm just going to take that off. I guess I must have it installed automatically these days, so I should probably change that setting.
Yeah, you can go through and prune.
Yeah, automatic apps install. Turn that off, because otherwise, every time you install an app, it's going to install. If it has a watch version, it's going to install. The other thing that's changed is now there are standalone apps.
Yes.
I think that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
I have
There's
yet to
an app store now on the watch, so you can get things.
I've yet to use any of those.
I don't have any either, but I think we're going to see more going forward for sure.
Used to be it had to be on the phone, and then you could move it to move a version of it to the watch. Yeah,
you sort of include a little nesting doll of an Apple Watch app inside of your larger nesting doll app for iPhone, and then it sort of shot it over to the watch.
It's a little weird to have an app store on the actual watch.
Yeah, especially you're holding it up, you're waiting for it to load in your case. And
SoundHound, that would be good because it lets you know what songs are playing around you. I might install that.
Give it a go.
Yeah, let's get that. So that's an example of an app.
Oh. Do you have to do?
Apparently, I have to sign in to my app store.
You have to do your password
on my watch.
Maybe it's just your your watch password and not your entire password.
Nope, it's the entire.
Is there not like a do this on?
Fortunately, I can do it on my
my
phone.
Good.
Thank God, because that would be a real pain in the boohoo.
How does that work? I've never seen this before. This is kind of cool.
Okay.
There you go. Yeah. Keyboard input. So it's just like the Apple TV, the way that the Apple TV
show
works.
I'm not typing it. Yeah, that's a good thing. So now I can type my password, which is a lot easier on this than it would be on the watch.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool.
I feel bad for anybody who's trying to enter data on their watch. Okay, don't look. I'm going to enter this in.
See how that works. I will avert my eyes.
I wish, it feels to me like I understand why Apple doesn't do this, but there should be a setting where you just don't ask me for the password.
On my Apple Watch.
On my watch or my Apple TV, and I haven't been able to figure that out quite yet. It still seems to be entering that information an awful lot.
Yeah, I just reset my Apple TV because I was trying to fix some location bugs for HomeKit, and most of the passwords were able to be entered by just bringing my iPhone close to my Apple TV. But there were a few passwords that I had to type in manually, and I had the keyboard option with my iPhone to do that.
Well, now I'm thinking maybe I should have a SoundHound Complication.
Yeah.
On my Apple Watch. Boy, it's getting hard. This is the problem. This is why you need 100 complications.
Yeah.
Because it's hard to choose.
Face.
But I love the idea that, let me see if, I could put SoundHound on here. And
so
then
does it work like Shazam does?
Yeah, that's what it is. And then if I play a song, if I'm in the, the elevator and I hear something that I really like, I could press this and it'll start listening. It won't get that, I don't think. Maybe it would. Wouldn't that be funny if it said, that's Mikah singing,
I'd be like,
Micah
okay.
Sargent's version.
If it did that, I would say, I'm out of here. That's creepy.
By the way, that was not one of the standalone Apple Watch apps.
It is now.
Installed SoundHound on my iPhone.
Oh, wow. I didn't know it worked that way, too.
It goes both ways, baby.
Oh, man. That's creepy. All right.
Some good watch stuff.
Very good watch stuff. Very good
We
watch
love the
bands.
Apple Watch. I'll tell you what, I buy a new one every year.
Yeah.
And it's a good hand-me-down. It's a good gift.
That's my favorite.
Yeah.
I've got now my
Son.
multiple brothers. My mom has one.
Son, it's time that you inherited your father's year-old $250 watch. I have something really special.
Oh, exciting.
I am in love with these Matthias keyboards.
Same.
I talked to Edgar Matthias. You were on the phone with us, right? Who is the founder. He is a keyboard geek. We spent
a true keyboard geek.
We spent most of our conversation talking about the pros and cons of keyboards.
Pass me that one.
Apple has stopped making the best keyboards. We might be able to agree on that, even for their desktops. And some of us are fans of the old Apple keyboards of yore. Well, Matthias continues to make keyboards that are very much like the keyboard you may miss and love from your iMac or your Mac Pro. Here's a classic. I love this. This is beautiful. This is a wired one. They also have wireless. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? And they're very affordable. This is the 10-key version. They also have 10-keyless versions for people who don't do a lot of data entry but maybe want something a little smaller. And look at that rose.
Yeah, rose gold over here. Look at that. And this finish is true to form. I have to say, if you go to the website, Matthias's website, and you look at the rose gold,
it's rose gold.
The website one looks like strawberry milk.
It's hard to get the website too.
In real life, this keyboard is gorgeous rose gold, true to life. I have been happy with it. And as a rose gold fanatic,
we're going to send one to another rose gold fanatic in our lives.
So exciting.
She'll be so happy. Hey, let me show you this. Does this look familiar? Oh, look, there
we
he is
go. I'm typing
on his rose gold. Isn't that beautiful?
Oh, so nice.
Does this look familiar? This is
Leo.
the classic Mac keyboard.
Oh, feel that click.
This is their Tactile Pro. Some of us like clicky keyboards. So, by the way, look at the cable. Does this look familiar? Do you remember when the Apple cables looked like that?
Wow, with the silver.
The silver. Isn't that great? That's how these guys love Apple. And that is so great, the clear cable. There also is, and we asked them to send us this, because Lisa loves the ergonomic keyboards.
Ooh.
And they also make an ergonomic keyboard. It splits into two. This is wild.
Way.
So, yeah, Lisa really likes this.
So you can have someone help you type.
She's had surgery for carpal tunnel, so she does not. Yeah, she does not want to take any chances. They said when she did the surgery, they said, "That's it. You can't have another one. So be very careful." So as with anybody who does a lot of finance, she does a lot of keying. These have a nice ergonomic wrist. Feel that. It feels so soft.
Oh, that's like
isn't
memory
that nice?
gel.
Yeah, isn't that nice?
Cooling gel.
And nice switchy. And then you move these so that your hand is at a proper angle. You know, when you type, you have to kind of bend your wrist a little bit. The Ergo lets you keep your wrist at a natural angle as you're typing. So that's a very clever idea. All of these are programmable. I really love
we gotta talk about that.
Yeah, you want to? Go ahead.
Yeah, so you see there are these four little syncing options here, and each of these can be synced independently to a device. You can have one synced, like the first one is synced to my Mac, but by holding down one of the command keys, you can have it set up so that it works with your Windows PC.
Isn't that great?
And your iOS device.
So multi-point pairing, so it can be paired to up to 4 different devices, and then you switch merely by touching that key, and it will reassign the key caps to match that operating system.
Isn't that brilliant? I love it. And that means I can use my one beautiful rose gold keyboard for my iPad, for my iPhone if I want to, for my Mac, which I have it on right now, and then a fourth device, I could connect it to Elvis, my Windows Surface Laptop 3.
I've replaced all my keyboards with these Matthias keyboards. In my office, I have the 10 keyless wired with backlight, and they have a little dial on the back that you can change
how nice.
the color, which I think is so cool.
Oh, wait, you can change the color?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
It's so cool. You know what? They're
Battery
keyboard
life's
geeks.
forever, too.
I'm keyboard geek. Edgar and I just hit it off because we love keyboards, and I am now a Matthias geek. I love Matthias. The top seller right now, their wired aluminum keyboard. It really is a worthy successor to Apple's. Everything the original had and a little more. You'll be happy with the design, the functionality. It has a built-in hub. I really like that, so you can connect a mouse. And I'm a lefty, so I have on the left-hand USB port, but there's 2 ports. So you can have the right port, or whichever port you're not using for your keyboard could be, or your mouse rather, could be a memory stick or whatever. I just think this is so handy. PC keyboards too. Tech support's coming from those nice folks in Canada, Aurora, up there in Ontario.
Oh, yeah, we got to meet the
Janet and Carmela.
folks.
They're so sweet. Everybody's really, really sweet, nice, friendly. In fact, if you're interested in Matthias, you can give them a ring before you buy, and they can talk you through some of the pros and cons. They have purposely chosen, they work with all computers, even, as you said, mobiles, but they've really chosen to focus on Apple devices because they feel like Apple has perhaps not continued to make the great keyboards that they were known for, like that Tactile Pro. I love that keyboard. So if you miss your great Apple keyboard, Matthias has been around since 1989. Edgar is a keyboard nut and has done a great job. And I was really pleased because for the tactile stuff, they were using the cherries, which everybody uses. And he said, we think the Alps are better. The Alps are the classic tactile switches. And I was so happy to hear that. I will be ordering, I can't use tactile here at work because they're so clickety-clackety. They're so noisy in the studio.
Yeah,
but at
exactly.
home, I like to make a lot of noise. I like everybody know I'm working. So clickety-clacking is back, baby.
I wanted to quickly point out on Twitter, someone has already said that my husband calls his Matthias keyboard the best thing I ever bought him, thanks to MacBreak Weekly for the discount code. Already! Ardith on Twitter has gotten one. That's awesome.
We have an iOS Today code. Use that one. It's Matthias, MATIAS.ca, because they're in Canada. /iOS Today, and you'll get 10% off your purchase if you go to that website. 10% off. Look at all the keyboards. That's the only drawback. It's hard to choose.
Yeah, there are many options.
Honestly, I would get 2. I'd get one Tactile Pro for when you really, want to type hard, like you're writing like a letter to the editor.
Listen here, yeah.
And then I would get one of the aluminum ones for just aesthetics and for it's a little easier on your fingertips. MATIAS.ca/iOS Today, 10% off. Matthias, really. And by the way, they're affordable to begin with. They're a lot less than Apple charges for their keyboards.
Yeah, there's no premium for the different grays.
The logo.
The fact that there is a rose gold keyboard in the first place is really cool.
Isn't that awesome?
Apple didn't do that, and they should have.
You look so good typing on your rose gold keyboard.
Yes, you too can look great typing on your rose gold keyboard.
It's really pretty funny. Matthias.ca/iOS Today. I made a mess.
Boy.
Thank you, John. I made a mess, a keyboard mess. I opened all the Matthias boxes.
Yeah, I'll throw mine over there too.
I wish I could use this with my iPad. Oh, I guess I can.
Yeah, get it synced up.
People would think if I went to the coffee shop.
Oh my goodness, took
out my iPad and then started typing like this.
Yeah,
you
gotta
gotta
noisily drink your coffee while you do it.
And the inverted T layout, everything is done just right. All the keys do the Apple-y things like sound and play and pause and expose and all that stuff.
Oh, what's that one?
That's the Quiet Pro. This is a Tactile Pro, but they have the Quiet Pro. Looks just like the old G3.
Yeah, I was going to say it reminds me of my elementary school.
Yeah.
I know. I had to say it.
What's the news
What's
across
the news?
the nation?
Well, first of all, apparently, now you can rub your displays with cleaning products.
So last week we were talking about the fact that your phone is, like any surface you touch a lot, harboring germs.
Very, very dirty.
And I didn't even know that Apple was telling people not to do what I told you last week, which is to wipe it with. I was using the Clorox hospital wipes with hydrogen peroxide because you should do that probably every day.
Yes.
But what little known to me
is that
Apple doesn't recommend that.
At the time, the thought was that it would wear away at the oleophobic coating.
That's the thing that keeps the greasy fingerprints from sticking.
Yes.
Well, guess what?
Now, not only, this is what's fascinating to me. So I just want to, there's a little passage on Apple support document. Is it okay to use a disinfectant on my Apple product?
Yes.
Yes. Using a 70% isopropyl alcohol wipe and this is the thing that's interesting to me, they name a brand. Clorox disinfecting wipes.
The ones I used.
You can use it on non-porous surfaces of your Apple products, such as the display, a keyboard, or other exterior surfaces. Don't use bleach and avoid getting moisture in any opening. But yes, you can use those on the display of your device, which is interesting.
Would you
let me just go ahead
have a Clorox wipe?
I think I'll have a Clorox wipe here.
I think everybody, we got to all just, everybody should get in the habit, just because it's good for you in general. When you go to the gym,
let the moisture sit.
When you go to the gym, it's considered a polite thing to do to wipe down the exercise machine afterwards.
Yeah, it's like a courtesy flush.
It's a courtesy
wipe.
It's a courtesy. So do the same thing to your phone. In this case, the courtesy is to yourself.
Yes.
And yes, don't dry it off. Let it dry, air dry. And Joanna Stern at the Wall Street Journal cracked me up. She took a brand new iPhone 8, and they taped half of it, and then she literally 1,095 times wiped the screen. 1,095 times. She said that is doing it on average once a day for 3 years.
Oh, okay.
365 times 3. And she said the oleophobic coating
was fine.
Perfect. It was not changed. It was indistinguishable from the taped off side of the screen.
Wow.
So she went the extra mile to prove it, Joanna.
Yeah, I was going to say, so she sort of preempted this addition to the support document then?
I think it was at the same time.
Okay, gotcha.
And I was in my ignorance telling you to do this. I didn't realize, and I later read on Reddit and other places, people saying, "Oh my God, you should never do that. You're going to, strip the oleophobic coating." Now, we should say this is a tech note from Apple. Mm-hmm. Doesn't mean that it won't do that on a Samsung or some other phone. You should actually ask your manufacturer.
Exactly. That's a good point.
But I think it's so important that we disinfect. I'm using wipes and Purell everywhere.
Oh yeah, and I want to follow up too.
I don't use Purell on my phone.
There was there are these wipes that have benzalkonium chloride.
Benzalkonium chloride, no.
No. So benzalkonium chloride is fine for certain bacteria, but it is not going to help you with a virus. No. I also read a recent thing that suggests
read the back
that 70% isopropyl alcohol is better than 90% isopropyl alcohol.
Less is better.
Because of the osmosis that takes place to let things into the cell to actually break it apart.
I also read that you shouldn't use Tito's vodka.
No. People are buying Tito's vodka and Tito's saying, please stop. There's not enough alcohol in this vodka to help you with your virus.
On the other hand, 151, anything that's 150 proof, that's 75%, you'd be okay.
Or something? I don't know.
Everclear was too much, apparently.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And but read on the back and make sure that it works with coronavirus. And in fact, these Clorox disinfecting wipes say specifically.
Now they're noted on there?
Human coronavirus, which is the same as the influenza. It says on the front, MRSA, which of course is what you run into in the gym. E. coli, staph, salmonella, strep, kleb, and cold and flu viruses.
What's in Clorox disinfecting wipes? Is it bleach? Is it?
Oh
wait, I guess they
dimethylbenzyl ammonium chloride.
Okay, some sort of.
And ethylbenzyl ammonium chloride.
Oh, Aunt Ethel.
Aunt Ethel, but N-alkyl dimethylbenzyl ammonium chloride is the thing.
They all sound the same.
Yeah. And then the other ones I was showing you, the hospital wipes from Clorox, those are hydrogen peroxide. Those are a little easier on the skin anyway. But, that's fine. We just, just good hygiene. We should have been doing this all along.
Exactly.
Just good hygiene.
Clean your hands, clean your phones, clean your face, clean your toes.
Well, I never thought about it, but this phone, it is. I'm touching it all day long. And you might get on the subway, touch something, then touch your phone. Forget touching your face. You shouldn't touch your face. Don't touch your face. But
people
you
are
still
upset.
touch your phone. And where does your phone go? To your face.
Exactly. People are a little upset that people are not accepting cash at certain places now for health and safety. Because money gets exchanged between many people versus your card, which is a you and another person transaction. So it limits the amount of bacteria. And if you use tap to pay and things like that. I understand
Tap to pay is nice because you don't actually tap.
You don't touch anybody. You don't touch anything. Yeah.
Ooh, reminds me, though, I probably should disinfect my watch.
Yeah. I did that this morning, actually.
You did that this morning. You're so ahead of time.
Now, there was another thing that I wanted to talk about. This was something that I came across that Matthew Casanelli and I were talking about last night. I think it was Scooter X in the chat who shared it with us. I just touched my face. It is, don't worry, there's Clorox all over me. I'm good.
That's the one time it's okay to touch your face.
Yeah.
After you wash your hands, you can then go, oh, please, let me touch my face.
Now's my chance. I love touching my face.
I love touching my face.
That reminds me of the woman that was talking about all the different things you're not supposed to do, and then she licked her finger to flip the page. Did you see that video?
I missed that one.
Oh, there's a woman, she's doing like this, I think it's the CDC guidelines, and she's saying, don't touch your face, and all the people behind her are doing all the things that she says not to do, and then she also goes and licks her finger. So it's just this whole
automatic.
awkward,
we all do this.
So speaking of that,
I'm thinking,
Scooter X just shared it in the chat. Go ahead.
What is it?
It's the Immuno Touch wristband, and it buzzes you every time you move your hand up to touch your face.
There's also a website, but you have to sit in front of your camera on your computer. There's a website that you train. It says, okay, sit there, don't touch your face. Go like this, but don't touch your face. And then touch your face. And then you leave the camera on, and it goes, don't, whenever you touch your face.
I'm going to have to try that, too.
The thing is, you have to sit in front of you. I always said your iPhone should do it. But you know what? That's a good idea. It's a band.
Yeah.
Why don't we have an Apple Watch app that would do that, too?
That would be good.
Every time
Somebody
you
out
raised
there.
Your hand, it wouldn't really know.
It could just be a little buzz that you're like, oh, yeah, okay, I'm not.
Am I crazy? But I'm thinking I should get it.
What, the thing?
COVID-19.
Oh. Wait.
Just get it over with.
Just get it over. Okay, I see what you mean.
And if I die, I die. But if I don't,
then
I'm immune.
You're good. Well, is that how that works, though? Will this one
Unless
work
it
that way?
mutates.
Yeah.
Which apparently it does. It's kind of like the flu. You have to you have to get it every year. That's why we want a vaccine, to avoid that whole thing. She's touching her. She's licking it.
Yeah. And
you know, the worst
video. Can you
video.
imagine? She must feel so
I
ashamed.
digress. But the worst video is the Iranian health ministers giving his speech, and standing next to him is one of the guys, and he's hot and he's sweating. He pulls out a handkerchief like 8 times during the speech. The next day, he puts up another video saying, I'm in isolation, I'm sick.
Whoa! Oh my gosh. So it wasn't that he was just hot because it was hot outside.
He was feverish.
Oh God.
I know.
That's so...
Anyway, we don't need to talk about that.
Yeah, please don't get it.
Let's not talk about it.
Instead, we're going to talk about the fact that 9 to 5 Mac has completely taken care of WWDC for us. If you see it in the show notes here, I've got all of the reveals. They got an early look at iOS 14, and they have just laid out every single thing they found.
That's good, because there may not be a WWDC, so let's get it over with now.
So let's get going. Let's talk about it.
Everything they see in the source code. Now, remember, this doesn't mean it's going to be released. It does mean that Apple's planning at some point to do it. Doesn't mean it'll be released in 14. A lot of times they put code in that doesn't end up making it into the final release.
Correct. So we'll start with the iPad Pro. There's supposed to be a next version of iPad Pro. By looking at the source code, they see that it's going to have a triple lens camera system, so it'll be like the iPhone.
I've been dying ever since the iPad came out. I've been mad that they didn't put a real camera.
Yeah, let's give it the same camera. It's also rumored to have a time of flight 3D sensor. Which they will use.
That'd be a great AR thing.
Yes. Yeah. In fact, there's going to be a new augmented reality app that they're making, that Apple is making, and one of their first partners they're pairing with is Starbucks. The app will, if you walk into an Apple store and pull it out and use it, you can look around and see prices on things. You can see how to use the products. You can learn all this stuff.
Cool.
They're pairing with Starbucks too. I don't know exactly what they'll do at Starbucks.
See your coffee.
I guess you could figure out what I'm thinking. But if you go into a store, maybe you can see the...
It's not like they all look that different.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know about... Starbucks seems like a weird choice. I would choose IKEA or something like that.
I was in the Starbucks the other day, and the barista, he doesn't know I'm there standing waiting for my drink. He doesn't know I can hear him. He's saying, If anybody orders that, what is it, the white ginger drink, I'm going to kill him. He said, over my dead body. Apparently, he doesn't think it's a very good drink.
White ginger.
It's one of their one of their new drinks.
Wait, it's not one of the flat whites, is it?
No.
Okay,
It's
good,
like
'cause
it's a
the flat whites are
strange. It's a
good.
honey ginger or something. It's a very strange beverage.
I'll have to look
I'm
that
sure
up.
it's on the Starbucks
I'll
website.
kill 'em.
But the barista said, "Don't get it. Whatever you do, there it is. Is that it?
Something golden ginger. Drink.
Golden ginger. Don't get it. Apparently.
What's the word before that, Kevin? I can't see it. Iced golden ginger.
Well, they have I was actually tempted to get it till I heard him say that.
If anyone gets it, I'll kill him. No, I want to
Over
try
my
it.
dead body, he said.
I got to ask Sebastian about the golden ginger.
By the way, this just in Santa Clara County, which is where Apple is, has announced that they're going to ban all mass gatherings.
I think WWDC counts as a mass gathering.
I think so.
Yeah. iPhone 9. So not a whole lot of new stuff. The iPhone 9, remember, we've got iPhone 10, iPhone 11.
The 9 is the SE successor.
kickback,
and we don't know
yeah.
what the name will be. Does it say it'll be the 9?
That doesn't say in the notes.
Okay.
It will support Touch ID. According to the code, so it will still have your button that people really like, but it's going to add express transit features. So that's
What's express transit?
That is the option to turn on a tap to pay device, even if your phone battery were to die. So it holds it in the NFC chip.
I never thought about that, but you're right. You couldn't buy anything if your phone
dies. Yeah,
but you
so
can.
You can
because
with,
it has enough juice to do
these
that.
current phones do it. The iPhone 11, you can set it up in your settings. You go into the wallet app, you choose Express Transit, and then you choose which card you want to
Most
do.
importantly, it's going to have the A13 chip, so it's going to be internally completely up to date,
which is really
I
nice.
guess that's the transit feature is part of that. So that's
must
good.
be.
You're going to have a very retro-looking phone. What is it? The iPhone 8 that they're going to make it look like?
Yeah, it would have to be the 8. Yeah,
Yeah, we don't know yet.
we don't know what it'll look
and,
like exactly.
And frankly, that may be the product that is delayed. They were supposed to announce it, we think, this month, maybe at the end of the month. But the factories are closed, so I wonder how many they were able to produce. It'll be in short supply for sure.
Something I'm really excited about for Apple TV. So we know that they're always working on a new Apple TV box. That's not interesting to me. What I think is interesting is that, well, it's two things. One, they're reportedly updating the Siri remote, which people famously hate.
They fixed it a little bit by putting a ring around the menu button.
But that's
about as minor
so
a fix.
expensive.
Yeah.
And it is horrible to hold.
Do you end up using your phone most of the time?
Yes. Yeah.
I think most people do.
But the thing that I'm really excited about,
Or your watch. By the way, that is
your
another
watch
good
has
thing to
the
put on
remote
your
on it,
watch
too.
is the remote app.
I'll run upstairs because the main floor is living space. The restrooms are upstairs, so I'll go upstairs
Aren't
to
you
use the
fancy?
restroom.
You have more than one floor?
3 is the
Wow.
way. Well, it's just how
You're
the
so fancy.
No, it's just how the place is set up. You can hit pause and play from your device. So I'll do that before I go to the restroom. Like, oh yeah, I forgot to pause the show I was watching. But they're reportedly working on an Apple TV workouts application. And so you can download exercise and workouts and be coached on your Apple TV. All
They
the
can
data is
see
going to
you?
sync to the Apple Watch. No, I think it's going to be like a workout app that you download from the
So
store
there's
where you
yoga
get
apps
videos.
and things
Yeah.
already that do this.
So this will be like that, except it's going to have Apple Music integration.
Oh.
All of the data is going to sync to Apple Watch, so you'll be able to use your Apple Watch in
Nice.
conjunction with it to get more activity stuff out of it. So you can listen to your own music and stuff like that during the workout. I think that's fantastic. I would love to have a workouts app that comes directly from Apple that has, they've hired some people to do the coaching and whatnot. I think that'd be super cool. And then, of course, more about AirTags. AirTags really does seem to be the name. That is the marketing name that they've found
AirTags.
in all of the code. And these will include, reportedly, a user replaceable battery as opposed to being sort of a one-off
hallelujah.
product. Yeah.
Yeah.
Unlike
Tile.
AirPods.
Or AirPods. Although apparently Apple will replace the battery in an AirPod.
Oh, really?
Somebody said that. Now, is that true? Somebody sent me an email saying, you can. It was a fairly reasonable price to get it. I thought you couldn't. I thought that was the whole problem.
That was the whole point.
Yeah.
That's what people are mad about.
All right.
We'll see. So HomeKit finally getting a big update. I say finally. There, been a few features trickled out, but one of the things that they're working on is what's called night shift for lights. So within the Home app for iOS, you can set it up to any color lights in your home.
I like that idea.
Automatically change over the course
like
of the
that
day
idea.
from a from a cool color palette to a warmer
Many
color
of us
palette.
do that with If This Then That, but still,
Correct.
this would be really
This
cool.
integration directly
Yeah.
there is something that you don't have to go get a third-party
Yeah.
app to set up.
Love
I think
that.
that's fantastic. As well as with the HomeKit secure video system, remember that all that processing happens locally. It can determine if there's a person, if there's a dog, or if there's a vehicle. Now they're working on actual object recognition, not object recognition, that's already there, but people identification. So you could have it notify you, hey, your daughter's home, hey, your partner's home. And this will all happen locally on device, so it's not happening, in the cloud, but to actually do people identification altogether. That means better automations too.
Yes.
When Leo gets home,
Play his
I want
theme
to do
music.
blank. Yeah.
Yes. By the way, Apple AirPod battery service, $49 each.
Oh.
They won't repair the case,
Okay.
but they will repair the AirPods themselves.
Interesting.
Put new batteries in. It's expensive.
$49.
And if your case
is-
battery dies, then I guess you have to get a new case. I'm sure you can do that.
Yeah, you can buy a case alone.
But then they end up on the landfill, and that's the thing.
That's the
we
whole
don't
point.
like.
We don't want to do
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
And then last but not least with the HomeKit is that right now you can, when you're watching your Apple TV, if you've got HomePods, you can go into the audio settings and change to a HomePod as the output, but it doesn't stick. It's just an option temporarily to adjust that.
Oh, the case is $49 as well.
Oh, okay.
Scooter X, thank you so much.
Yeah, always helping. Thank you.
Yeah. And I hope that Apple, if they replace the case, will then recycle.
Recycle,
I think they
yeah.
will. They give it to Liam, and he eats it up.
Exactly. So you can permanently set your HomePods as Apple TV speakers to say, hey, these are always what I'm going to be using as my sound bar, essentially. I hope Apple's working on a sound bar. That's one thing I would buy from them is a sound bar. Yeah, for my TV. Let's move on to Apple Watch Series 6.
This is cool. And by the way, Seth Weintraub, who was on Twit on Sunday, broke this story during Twit
Really?
about the
infograph? Face, the tachyometer?
No, the oxygen meter.
Oh, gotcha. Okay,
I
yeah,
thought you were going to talk about that. Let's
there's
do
a
it
lot.
in order.
Yeah,
there's a lot.
There's a lot that's coming with
So there'll be an Apple
Series
Watch 6 and 7 apparently.
Well, that's WatchOS 7.
Oh,
the next
WatchOS
version
7.
of WatchOS.
Got
Yeah.
it. Okay.
So there's going to be a new Infograph Pro face. So we saw Infograph, the face that I had before, but the Pro face, they're trying to make these Apple Watches still like how normal watches have worked. The luxury watches have that tachymeter feature where you can crank the dial to determine how long one. I'm not
never
exactly sure how a
understood
tachymeter
that. I
works.
think it's
honestly.
for airline pilots to calculate how much gas is left, but I hope they're using something better than that.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure how. They even explained it in here, and I'm going, I don't really understand. For measuring speed, the chronograph is started at a starting marker of a known distance. At the next marker, the point on the scale adjacent to the second. I don't get it.
I hope they're using something a little better.
I hope so too. Whatever, they're going to have it in there. What I think is cool, though, is right now I cannot share. I can create it takes a while to set up a face, set up your complications exactly how you want them. It takes a while. Right now, I can't share my face with you.
I wish you would share your face with me.
In WatchOS 7, there's going to be a share sheet button. So if I was jealous of your face, you could easily share it with me.
I mean, you
share
can
it
do a
with you.
screenshot and you could do it
Then
by
you
hand.
go and you
but
set it up.
This would be a lot better.
Yeah, and they think that this is the first step to then doing third-party watch faces. This sort of puts the stuff in place to make that happen.
You're right, it does, because if you can apply a shared face to your watch, that data could be anything.
Yes.
It could be something else. Yeah, that's interesting.
And then shared albums are also coming to the Apple Watch face. So there, you can set an album or a photo as your Apple Watch face, and then every time you lift your watch, it changes the photo. Now shared albums will work too. Perfect. I don't think that's all that interesting. But what is interesting is Apple Watch for Kids. This lets you, as a parent in your your iCloud family, set up an Apple Watch.
Boy, they've been busy in Cupertino.
Right?
Holy
Set
cow.
up an Apple Watch and pair it, and apparently at 9 to 5 Mac, they've been very busy, so that you can control their watch, you can manage the activity, you can set up what's called school time so that only certain features are going to work at a specific hour.
Do you think a kid would, I guess a kid would want an Apple Watch.
I think Aunt, was it? No, it wasn't Aunt, it was Odocta was talking about his daughter, I believe.
She would get the hand-me-down probably.
And she has an Apple Watch, and he was talking about how he sort of had to fight the principal and stuff like that on it. She's going to have her watch because if I ever needed to contact her in the event of an emergency,
you could put walkie-talkie on it.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And then the feature I've been waiting for.
Really?
Sleep tracking is supposed to be coming.
Well, we've been hearing this rumor for a while.
Forever.
Yeah.
But it is in the code. Again, this could come at any time. But along with the sleep tracking, it's also going to have battery life management information in it as well. So then you can set your personalized sleep goal and stuff like that, and then it will include recommendations for improving upon your sleep. Yeah.
Good.
And then, that was the other thing. So remember you were talking about satellite options for your Apple Watch apps. They are actually redoing the architecture behind Apple Watch apps so that right now they're sort of set up, if you do apps just for the Apple Watch App Store, they're still made in the same way that they used to be with the iPhone companion app kind of system. And so now they're sort of adjusting the architecture.
Completely standalone.
Yeah, so that it is completely standalone.
Nice.
I do have more.
No, there's a lot more. There's the oxygen.
Yeah, so the oxygen
oximeter.
Now, this is an important feature for brain health, for heart health. When you're asleep, it's very important to know what is the oxygen saturation of your blood at any given time.
I don't know how they're going to do that. They'll have to put a new sensor on here, I guess.
I think so. I mean, so the pulse oximeters that work on your finger, they work by seeing how red your blood is because that determines how much oxygen.
They can see that because that's why they check the pulse, maybe.
So I think they're just going to be more accurate, maybe brighter green LEDs or something like that. We'll see. Apparently, sophisticated support is coming for the mouse and trackpad.
Will they be wearing a top hat?
Yes. Your keyboards will not come with a top hat. So right now, you can enable mouse and trackpad support for your iPads, but it's not that great. It's a sort of hidden feature. It's an external accessibility feature. They're going to make it so that it works like it does on a Mac. The mouse will change between a cursor and a finger whenever you switch to a link. There will be gestures built in. And so it's going to be, Mac has the Catalyst system to bring iOS apps to the Mac. This is more along those lines of making sure that these features work across all the different platforms. So that's interesting, especially given the fact that we've heard reports that Apple may release a keyboard with a trackpad for the iPad.
Isn't that interesting? Yeah.
So they're improving upon that. I
don't know if I really want a mouse on my iPad.
I don't know yet. Unfortunately, my trackpad and keyboard from the company who makes those keyboard cases that we have? Bridge. That one is delayed because of coronavirus. It won't get here until April. But I wanted to show that off. Some new accessibility features are coming. They're apparently going to let third-party apps control wallpapers now. Right now, you can set photos and things like that, but there aren't third-party apps that can do wallpaper control like you can do on Android. They're going to be adding that. And then a built-in feature to submit photos for Shot on iPhone, which I don't like because that feels a little bit...
who needs that?
They're going to add it to the Photos app, and I'm going, look, that's a promotional thing. Don't do advertising in my app. And then, Leo, I want to know what you think about iOS 14, including a new home screen that instead of showing icons shows a list view. It's just a list of your apps with adjustments or organization.
Wait and see. I don't know. You get more on there, I guess. Right?
Yeah, and you can have Siri suggestions for certain things. You can you can say, "Hey, I want."
They've
to see
done
all
nothing
my apps
to springboard for so long since adding folders 25 years ago. That's about it. So I'll be interested. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see. Yeah.
So check out 9 to 5 Mac, where
Holy
they've
cow.
just pulled apart everything.
I think there's even more. That's an exhaustive list, though. And that would be what they would announce at WWDC.
Yep. They keep adding more to the site. So check that out if you want to know what potentially Apple is working on in the future.
You want to take a break?
Yes, let's take a break.
I'm exhausted.
Me too.
I want to talk about my phone, in particular about Mint Mobile, which is my carrier on my phone. Mint Mobile does it right. Man, I love Mint Mobile. You've seen the green fox. Mint Mobile is reselling T-Mobile service. They're what we call an MVNO. So if you've got good T-Mobile coverage where you are, you will love Mint Mobile because they can cut your bill by a lot for the same service as little as $15 a month. And that includes unlimited nationwide text and talk. And, of course, crazy fast 4G LTE. Mint Mobile doesn't have expensive retail stores. Their overhead's much lower. That's why they can pass the savings on to you. You can bring your own phone, even port your phone number over if you want. If you're not 100% satisfied, 7-day money-back guarantee, so it gives you plenty of time to try it at home and at the office and as you travel around. $15 a month with their new 3-month introductory plan. I liked it so much after just a few months, I ended up buying a year's worth at $25 a month for 12 gigabytes of data. That's a lot. I never use it. Never use it up. It is really a great deal. I'm paying lots more for service from the other guys. Go to mintmobile.com/iOS. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month with their 3-month introductory plan. mintmobile.com/iOS. I talk to people all the time who say, I'm so glad I moved to the Fox. Mintmobile.com. And of course, the
Ryan
very
Reynolds, thanks
attractive
you.
Ryan Reynolds, who is apparently an owner. mintmobile.com/iOS. We thank him so much for supporting iOS today. We thank you for supporting us by using that special address and getting that special deal.
Awesome. Thanks,
Awesome.
Mint Mobile.
They just send you the SIM for free. You just put it in your phone.
Pop
Boom.
it in, pop it into your
magic.
iPad. That's what I've used it for.
Yeah, you can use it in your iPad. That's right. Not that you're making phone calls.
Right.
But still, it's so
But
inexpensive.
for the data,
the
data bucket. Yeah. So let's move on to feedback and questions. This is actually a great tip. Murray from somewhere Indiana gives us a tip for the fact that the wish list is gone in the App Store. You used to be able to say, these are some apps I might want to get later.
I didn't even notice.
Yeah. So he apparently uses this feature, used to use that feature a lot, and says, okay, I use reminders and I create a reminder list called apps. Using the share sheet on the App Store page, you can add it to a list for your future purchases.
Perfect.
And this is why it's better than Wishlist was, because Wishlist would only let you save paid apps to the wish list. You couldn't do it for apps that were free because they thought, you're just going to get them now. Well, if you wanted to check out an app later, it wasn't necessarily something that you were interested in, or if you just have, a collection of apps that you want to use for iOS today or something like that, using the reminders apps can help you save any app for later. You could also use Notes or another app, anything that's available via the share sheet. So pretty nice. Now, Charles from Roanoke, Virginia has written in with a question. My MacBook Pro 2017 uses a 61-watt USB-C charger. My iPad Pro 11-inch uses an 18-watt charger. If the MacBook charger's output of 5 volts 3 amps and the iPad Pro charger output is 5 volts 3 amps, won't one charger work for both, or am I missing something? I don't want to blow up the iPad or MacBook just because I didn't carry both chargers on a trip. No, it will not blow up.
No.
Charles, this is the great news.
I do this all the time.
Yeah, not only have so this is the thing. When I read this, I was like, I do this all the time.
Yeah.
But I wanted to make sure that the official answer was yes. The device is what determines how much power it needs to get.
I don't need all of that.
I don't need all
just
that
get
juice.
away from me.
Just calm down. Yeah. And so basically how it works is, regardless of the thing that you're plugging into the wall and plugging into the phone, with these devices specifically, it will say, I only need this much juice at a given time. So you can use, as Leo's pulling out here, is PowerPort Atom PD2.
I carry this around, and I think this is 60 watts. So it's enough to charge my MacBook. Yeah, how did you know it was the PD2? You have good eyes.
Yeah, my complications are small. I got my eyes trained.
Okay, tell me how many watts it is, because that's too small for me to read. See?
Where is it? 60 watts max.
60 watts. So this is a 60-watt charger, and I really like it because it has power delivery and it has 2 ports. This is from Anker. And I can charge both my laptop and my phone or my iPad.
Yeah, it's got plugs for both.
Yeah, and I actually, for the phone, I have the Type-C going to a Lightning connector.
Yeah, because for some reason, these Pro phones are still Lightning.
Yeah, that's still, 60 watts is more than the phone is expecting.
Yes.
But it doesn't. The phone just goes, I'll take what, it slows it down, I guess.
And one of the nice things is, if your device supports fast charging, then it will fast charge. It'll take advantage of it, yeah. It's funny, Apple even notes in the support document, if you want to plug in your Siri remote, that's the Apple TV remote, to one of these big chargers, you can charge that too. No problem.
Pretty much that's true across the industry. I don't know of any device that will go, blow up.
Right.
Because you put too many watts into it.
Yeah.
Yeah. They just carefully
bring your biggest, if you want, like you said here, you want to just travel with your MacBook charger, that's fine.
Yeah.
It'll charge all those different devices.
I don't even look anymore. I just get the one that has the most wattage I can find.
Yeah.
Because I want it to be able to charge my laptop.
Now, as far as the plug on the other side, if you're traveling internationally, that's where you need to make sure you're using the right thing.
That's another matter. But most of these good plugs now, and all of the Apple ones, you can remove the actual physical plug and put an international one. Yeah. So Apple sells a little travel kit that just has this different plugs for different countries.
Nice.
Yeah, I carry it around.
Different strokes for different folks.
Yeah. There it is.
All right.
Remove it.
Let's move on. It's time for our app caps. Time to put on funny hats. Yay.
These funny hats are funny unless you meet them in a dark alley.
I'm a little concerned by the grime of this one.
Well, it's been used.
Is it going to give me...
It's not going to give you cooties.
Okay.
That is a search and
Should
rescue
I Clorox
helmet.
wipe it?
So you hope you don't see somebody coming down the side of the hill wearing that, rappelling down to save you.
Coming down the mountain when they come.
Unless it's Brooke. If it's Brooke, it's okay. Yes. She's gentle.
I don't know.
She saved you when you got hurt.
She did save me.
Search. She wasn't wearing
her myself.
Her Ventura
Actually, she
County
strapped on her helmet first.
Yeah. What's hysterical is both of these come from the Southern California area.
Oh, do they?
Mine is a tac squad helmet for the police. The sheriffs. So if they come at you.
So I could punch you in the head right now.
Yeah, this thing's hard as a rock. Why are we wearing helmets?
I don't know.
Because we have hardcore app cap picks this week. Yeah. By the way, my camera doesn't recognize me in this helmet.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it really ought to.
There we go. Now I feel safe and secure. I'm ready to ride a bike.
Bump heads.
Okay.
Oh!
Aha! I'm awake. Good morning. Welcome to another episode of iOS Today.
I feel like I'm wearing this backwards, but I guess not. Okay. Oh, I'm number 23, just in case you want to know.
Yeah, that's so I can say 23. Did it say D? Was that a D?
D.
23D is ready to report.
Yes, sir.
All right, let's talk about apps. This is a fantastic, fun new app, and it starts, Leo, by me sharing the app with you.
Oh, how exciting.
So I'm going to tap
Share
a new app, and I'm going to tap Leo Laporte.
Because I have AirDrop on.
Because he's got AirDrop turned on.
That's a terrible picture of me.
That's the one you took of yourself the first episode I was here in the studio.
And that you decided to give that to me as my...
Well, actually, you set it up as my contact.
Why am I not...
You don't remember that?
Yeah, no, I do now.
All right, so the app that I'm talking about is called Scribble Together Whiteboard. And this is a really cool and simply made app. This is what I like about it. There are a lot of different collaboration apps that are available, but they don't have, they end up having like way too many features. And so this one does things simply. I'm going to launch Scribble.
Okay, so am I on your Scribble team?
So I'm going to invite you. I'll tap plus and then type in K. 4 M S. Yes.
Does that mean anybody else can join this board?
If they have those four.
If you're at home, go ahead, join the board.
Join us.
But
join us.
Don't
do anything naughty. Please,
waiting for a response.
You don't have to have the app to use it. You can do it online.
Oh.
So I'm going to start writing.
Oh, so we could be doing a conference call. That's really neat.
So it currently shows that there are 2 people. Okay, Tom wants to join the whiteboard. And yeah, did you see that? Let me go ahead and Okay, good. There's Leo's writing. I'm going to change my color.
I wish it were that easy.
Hello.
I just changed it to green too.
Leo.
I'm going to be blue now.
This is one of the most slick collaboration apps. And I also love too, I'm going to just
Tom
go ahead
is scribbling. Hello, Tom. He just erased me.
That was me. I removed hello.
Oh,
look at
that.
Hi.
Hi, Tom.
Hello, Tom.
There's 4 people in here now. A lot of people are joining our Scribble board. Jim is scribbling now. Jim's, is that you drawing
I wrote I didn't do anything down there. That's somebody else.
Oh, somebody's doing little red scribbles on there. Oh, look, they're disappearing scribbles. Did you see that?
Oh, yeah. That's the little eraser feature. Now, it also lets you, there's a laser pointer so that if you're doing a presentation, you can say, hey, look here, and then those will erase after a while. So it's essentially a way to say, okay, I'm underlining this. You can add PDFs and images to this so that you can have a conference and sort of, we need to adjust this. Let's parking lot that, and then we'll loop back to talk about this in Q2. You can fill with color as well. What happened to my board? Oh yeah, someone dropped a document in.
I did.
Oh, that was you. Okay.
Yeah.
And now you can go through and annotate that document.
Oh, that's right. Oh.
Using, I don't know why it keeps scrolling down. That's the one thing.
Somebody's drawing in the bottom. That's why.
Oh, so it's automatically.
Yeah. So you don't want to have unruly people.
Yes.
In your. Chris wants to get in. Everybody, the good news is it asks you before you're allowed to add, before anybody can add. But even though you created this, I am also given permission to add people.
I just noticed that might be something that I will talk to the developers about.
The leader shouldn't be able to should be able to control who's added, not everybody in the room.
Yeah.
But just don't add anybody
that you don't
trust.
Like. Yeah.
This is cool. Anders wants to get in too. I guess we've got people from Bridgier. All over the world, people want to get in here. Ooh, this is cool. Look at that.
Leo is scribbling. Oh, and I see now it shows at the top.
That's the shape thing.
It lets you know who the current person is that's scribbling.
Oh, it does. It says Leo's scribbling.
Yeah.
Wow, that is a cool effect.
It shows who you've invited and who's joined.
I don't know what it is. They should call that the Jackson Pollock. Oh, I see. It's shapes.
Yeah.
So can I choose the shape, or is it just a random shape?
I think you touch.
Oh, boom, 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 boom.
Oh, no,
I don't know. I'm doing a weird one. And what does the bomb do? It blows things up?
Yeah. So it's how you can erase things.
Shapes is in beta.
In a fun way.
Did you write that? Somebody just wrote shapes is in beta.
Oh yeah, so I wouldn't actually. I think one of the developers might be in the conversation right now because I told
Bridger is one of the developers.
Yes, hello Bridger. Yes, thank you for saying that, for noting that. So I reached out to them ahead of time and asked them, hey, is there anything that you want to let us know about that will be coming to the app, or something that may not be immediately available, or rather immediately obvious when using the app? So thank you, Bridger, for joining here today.
You know, it's really cool, Bridger. Well done. It's real time.
Yeah.
There doesn't seem to be any lag.
Isn't that cool?
I'm amazed. So this would be really fun.
Look at the scaling that's taken. Look at that.
Oh, Bridger knows how to use his own program.
Show off. Okay, I see now.
Or her. Wow. This is cool. This is what's it called?
Bomb this. Okay, I'm going to bomb that. Let's see what happens. Oh, wow.
Bridger obviously has a lot of free time. Now that the app is out, he's discovered some very cool features.
Oh, I like that.
So what does the bomb do? Oh, it blows things up.
It blows things up in a very cool
Oh, that is fun.
fashion.
Oh, I love bombing. Can I
now, be careful where you say that.
Can I bomb my PDA? This is wild. This is wild.
Yeah, and this fun.
Yeah.
So what I love about this is there are many different apps out there that let you do collaborative sort of annotating and writing and things like that. But they're often a feature that requires a bunch of integrations. You've got to pay a huge subscription service. You've got to do all these things in order to communicate. This makes it so simple that you didn't even need to get the app. You could use it from the web and be able to access it from there and view and things like that. So it's a simple to use app. Only one person. So let's see.
You do want to practice your unicorn drawing skills.
Yes, apparently
because
you should.
Then you can draw a unicorn. This is pretty neat. This was happening in real time.
Oh,
That's
and
really
once it knows that you're using your Apple Pencil, you can choose what your finger does while your Apple Pencil is in
your finger is different than the pencil.
So, yeah, you can make it so that your finger scrolls while your Apple Pencil serves as the actual drawing. And then only one person, the person who makes the sheet, is the person who needs to be a subscriber. They can invite as many people as they want. For $4.99 a month or $49.99 a year, that's a subscription. And by doing so, then you can have as many of these boards as you want, and you can invite as many people as you want, and they can use it for free to go along with it. So
this is a really fun idea.
Scribble together whiteboard.
I really like this.
And yeah, it's a very simple to use. Like I keep saying, that's the thing that made me really interested in it, because I think I've done a whiteboard collaborative app on iOS before, but none of them are as simple, and you're not making people go and get accounts and things like that. They tap on the code, they tap on the link, they can either get the app or they can view it in the web, and I think that's what's very important. Tap with second hand.
So look at this.
To stamp.
Tap with second hand to stamp. Duplicate.
So if you hold maybe... Oh, that's cool.
My. Oh,
now
my.
you got stamps. Stamps. Never mind.
Second hand.
Yeah, I'm confused.
I only have two.
Tap with your second hand.
This is
okay. I see what he's saying. So
nice
once
features.
you picked it up, once you've had it in your hand,
then I
you
can
tap.
Then I can tap over here.
Yeah, make a stamp of it. Oh, I see.
my
It drops
gosh.
it wherever it is.
Oh my golly gosh.
There we go.
Oh, I'm putting
I
my's everywhere.
My.
Let's use the bomb.
Yeah,
I love the
away.
bomb. You can only bomb your own stuff, though. I think.
I bombed Bridger's stuff earlier.
Oh yeah, you can bomb anybody.
Yeah. Now, Bridger, if you're still here, one question I have for you that maybe the listeners would want to know too. Do you plan on adding any permissions type features? I would love to add people to my whiteboard, but maybe I don't want them to accept new invites and things like that. I might want to be the only one. Links have...
We're communicating. It's like in a Ouija board. Links have permissions.
So if I tap on links... okay, I can share a link, and people who join via the link, if I have allow editing turned off, then they cannot edit the document. They can only see it. The join code is for people who, invites.
So if they're joining, they would get. But if you add, if you share a link,
okay,
it's different.
So links give you the
cool.
choice. The join code is for your special friends.
Yeah, and you can decide whether you make a shareable link and whether you allow editing. Or
Gotcha.
not on that link. Yeah.
Thank you, Bridger.
Very cool.
All right, that is
Scribble
Together
Together
Whiteboard, free to download. As I mentioned, $4.99 a month if you want to be one owner. So then, like I said, one person can be an owner, and then the rest of the people can just How
much is this?
$4.99 a month for just the one person to.
I could totally
invite
see
whomever.
having a Twit account for our. When we're offsite doing offsites or whatever, we could then have a whiteboard. I love that idea.
Isn't that
I really
cool?
do like that idea.
And I know that there are some features coming out soon that you'll have to stay tuned for.
It's it's nice to see something that's completely unlike other apps. So something just completely innovative and new and different, and a very, I think, clever way to take advantage of the iPad.
And I like the little touches of fun, like the main screen there for the Scribble boards.
Yeah.
It's glittery.
It's glittery.
It's just different.
He likes unicorns, Bridger does.
Thanks so much, Bridger.
Or she.
Bridger's a guy.
Bridger's a guy.
And May Lee, I believe, is the other developer.
Nice.
I want to make sure I'm getting that right, though.
Good. Very good choice, I think.
Thank you. Yeah, Bridger and May Lee. Yeah, Bridger Maxwell and May Lee. Thank you both for
Two
your
people.
Communications.
Look what they can do.
Yeah.
Isn't that great?
Incredible.
I love it.
All right.
The app ecosystem. That's amazing.
What's your app cap?
Have you ever heard of a guy named Brian Eno?
I do know Brian.
Baby's on fire.
Better throw her in the water.
Oh, you really do. That's a
Look at
song
her
older than you are.
laughing like a heifer to the slaughter.
So he was a pop star who later went on to create kind of ambient music. His music for airports is really quite beautiful. He also is a brilliant synthesizer user and a complete and utter geek.
Ooh.
In fact, when I interviewed him many years ago, almost 20 years ago on Tech TV, he was very proud that the way he wrote his music was almost mathematical. It was not with notes. He has a new app called Bloom. Actually, it's not that new. It came out a couple of years ago. What's new about it is it now will play in the background. So it's a great way. You've seen me talk about these ambient apps before, these ambient music apps before. This is a fun ambient music app because it lets you create your own songs.
10 worlds.
You get 10 worlds. Each has different kind of sounds. You can also, in fact, let's start from the scratch with an empty world. And we'll go to the origin world, world 1. And by the way, it's very relaxing. So it's nothing too fast. And I can start playing some music. And it'll continue to repeat.
Oh, it's starting to kind of slow down a little bit.
So We have a play button. We have a pause button.
Okay.
I can also say how long it's going to play for because it'll segue from world to world.
Oh.
So I have a time button, and I can add time if I want. I don't know if I can subtract time. Then we can also clear it and start over if we... It's pentatonic, so you can't make, I think that's what it's called. So you can't, everything sounds good together. You can't make a disharmonious sound. Now, once I've got that, I've got World 1 programmed. I can go to World 2, which is a little bit of a different sound.
Okay.
And you can see it's now horizontal swipes instead of dots.
Ooh, this one's a little creepy.
Yeah, I think this is a minor key. Isn't that neat?
Okay, this is really fun.
Now, if I want, and I will do this because you don't want to see me go through all of these, I'll bring back the original, and they're generative, so I think they're different every time. I haven't examined that. But we'll start now with the worlds that were generated automatically, so you don't have to draw all the worlds. And we'll just start playing and see what I get here. And I can now close it
and it plays
and be doing something else.
See, I like this kind of music, this sort of atmospheric.
It's atmospheric. I could be doing my crossword puzzle while Brian Eno is performing for me.
Is that?
That's not a word.
Oh, okay.
That's a spurious cue.
That made me concerned. I thought, I've never heard that word. This is an acronym.
Anyway, I think this is really nice. Now, it's not free. I think it's $2.99. You'll have to check.
$7.99.
$7.99. All right. But
no in-app purchases or anything
it's
like
kind
that,
of like buying an album. It's like if you went out and you bought the CD of Music for Airports.
It'd be $9.99.
Yeah, it kind of sounds like this. Yeah. And you're getting all this stuff. Plus, it's generative, so it's always different, and you can make your own, which I think is really cool. Some of them are a little odd.
I was wondering about that world specifically.
You like that world? All right, let's see what this world sounds like here. Weird. I'll play that one.
Edo, World 9.
Isn't that beautiful? I think Brian Eno is brilliant.
The animations
I love his music.
Too.
And see
pyramids. Oh, this is good.
Yeah, and I can play with Eno.
This reminds me of the sound. Reminds me of. I always forget the name of that game. It's a puzzle game, beautifully created. You're a little character that
Monument Valley?
Monument Valley.
Yeah.
Monument Valley sound vibes.
Yeah, it kind of has that feeling. These are the bells that he loves so very much.
Oh, see, I could fall asleep to this. I could, work with this.
Isn't that pretty?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I know you like ambient music, and when I saw this has been out for a couple of years, but they have updated it to do background play, which I think is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's one thing to keep it running, and it is. There's for those of you listening, there are really beautiful kind of abstract images that go with it, and each sound has its own shape and style.
Yeah, people who have synesthesia, which I'm so jealous of.
This is like synesthesia.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, this is probably the closest we'll get to experiencing that.
Yeah, that's where you see sounds and colors.
Yeah, and you might feel it's a mixture of the senses.
Yeah. Isn't that pretty?
That's very cool.
It's not just Brian Eno. I should give credit to his collaborator, who's I think probably a programmer, Peter Chilvers, but it's called Bloom.
Peter.
10 worlds, and it's just really nicely done, I think.
Yeah.
All compositions and sound samples by Brian Eno and Peter Chilvers. And when I saw this, I was worried maybe I shouldn't play this because it's published worldwide by Opal Music. It actually is licensed music for sync and master licensing. Contact beatnik.com. I like that URL.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, Bloom, 10 worlds, $7.99. Very nice.
Very cool.
I don't think Content ID could actually pick this up on our YouTube channel because it's different every time.
Yeah,
right?
you were playing sounds to it and all that kind of stuff along with it.
That is iOS Today.
That has been iOS Today. Dun, dun.
We hope you enjoy this show. We do it every Tuesday, 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern time. And, I pledged on Sunday that I would start using UTC on all my devices.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Because we decided, Seth and I, there should only be one time in the world. It should be UTC. Then we wouldn't have this silly summertime, daylight saving time,
DST.
nutty stuff. And so this show is actually at 1700 UTC. I even did it in my car.
You did.
For about an hour. And then I said, I don't know what time it is.
Right.
It's 0500? What time is that? So I switched it all back because I realized I would be here I'd be here earlier.
Yeah.
I'd be here 8 hours early or 7 hours early.
7 hours early.
That's not good.
No.
So join us.
Everybody else would have to do it too.
1800 UTC. That's the way to do it. Tuesdays. If you want to send us a question or comment, suggestion, we really appreciate those. How do they do that, Mike?
Yeah, it's iOS Today at twit.tv.
Simple enough. Ideally, you'd record an audio or video question and then send us the link so that we could play you or show you on the air.
And
keep
it
short.
We won't 10 worlds you.
We won't put strange music behind. Well, we might. Actually,
I can't say what Kevin will do.
Can't promise we won't do that. Yeah. You can also download a show from our website, twit.tv/iOS. We're on YouTube as well. Or subscribe. Actually, that's really the best thing to do. Go to your favorite podcast application and subscribe to iOS Today. That way you'll get it the minute it's available every Tuesday afternoon. For iOS Today, I'm Leo Laporte.
And Mikah Sargent.
And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.